Yeah, yeah. Um, so you started your podcast how long ago?
Yes. By the way, I'm CJ.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
no. I started a podcast by October's, but I didn't get to post until late December because I kept recording and kept saying, "No, this is not good enough. This
Yep,
is not
yep,
good enough."
yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, this is not good enough, but let's put out there where we can get some people watch it." And hopefully we'll be able to get some feedback, see what to improve.
Yeah. Why did you choose to start a podcast?
Um, you see a lot of social medias, not social media in general, just media is the future. Whether we like or not, everybody now is spending time online, and there's a lot of information out there, but there's not specific information for some of us. When I say some of us is as Africans who live abroad. And specifically, I want something that has Swahili in it, because I
Mm,
speak Swahili, and Swahili, most people don't realize this, but Swahili is one of the biggest languages in East Africa. More than
right,
100 million
right.
people speak Swahili, but we don't get that global recognition because we're not good ambassador of our own language. So I was like, you know what? Let's do something where we can mix something. But also, there's a lot of issue um, from the most of our people can benefit from it.
Right, right, right. Huh. And you're doing yours in person, right?
I'm doing mine in person, but I'm trying to see if I can move a little bit along to online as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
like it is, I'm able to reach broader audience. Because actually last week I had a friend of mine call me from New Jersey. I live in Texas, Dallas, Texas. Call me from New Jersey. Hey, I saw your stuff online and I love
Yeah.
it. But if you can do more in English and broader your guest, into because it's a Turkish. And he was like, if you
Okay.
can bring some people from this and this and this and this, because we
Yep.
all want to hear what you have to say. And I was like, oh, okay. So
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
maybe going online would not be a bad thing.
Mm, mm. And that's pretty. That's a huge difference between when you started in October and you recorded a few and you're afraid of posting, all the way to having people in different states asking you if you can post more. That it was an
Exactly.
amazing step.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly.
What was the biggest problem that you had when you were starting, or the biggest either like technical problem as far as microphones and internet and tools, and or personal problems? Like you said, one of the fears was, oh man, this is not good enough. Maybe I didn't record it right. Maybe I didn't say things right. Maybe X, Y, and Z. So what would you say were some of the biggest problems that you faced at the beginning?
Oh, oh man. Where can I start? Um, I'll say everywhere. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Because I'm not a media personnel. You know,
Mhm.
I'm not tech savvy. I'm just a guy who works who's entrepreneur, but also works in a business on this side, but want to move on this side. And
Hmm.
my idea was to form a teams of because a part of being an entrepreneur is you're able to assemble different people with different skills and put
Yep.
together who share some vision. But it was a
Mm-hmm.
little different when you're starting, you have no capital, but you like an idea, I want to do this podcast. So
Right.
my biggest ones was uh editing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
I had no idea. Besides editing those small pictures online, just
Yeah.
using filters, I had no idea. And that's actually one of the biggest things that kept me a long time because even though I was
Mm.
recording stuff, when I looked at editing, I'm like, this is not it. And you were
Okay.
like, okay, now what else? And I tried different. I had different software. Then I went
Mm-hmm.
to what is it called? I think is a part of Microsoft. What is it called? PDF something?
Uh,
Pro something.
Pro
And I was
Tools?
like,
No, that's
no, it was something. It's a very common. A lot of people use it. And I used it
Audacity.
and the image was no. I
Forget
can't
about
remember
it.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually me everything was good, but I just didn't configure nothing. And I was trying to go
Mm.
to YouTube and stuff. So I ended up on Final Cut Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been good for me at least because I find it easier for someone who has no
Okay.
much skill. So I'm
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
with that, but also I'm learning is that Riverside? So I'm
Yep.
trying to see
Yep.
how that one is gonna go progress. But yeah, that part
Mm.
was the hardest part, but also the equipment. You don't know which equipment to use it. As you can see, I have
Yeah.
all this stuff. I have this is I didn't even know how to use it. I never used this
Yeah.
once. I spent money on it. I have other ones that
Yeah.
I never got to spend, but I spent money on it. I ended up
Mm.
buying this equipment I have. I spent almost like $2,500 on the one I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
now I'm using. And I was like, you know what? It worked. I figured out how to do it, So
Mm.
I think it's equipment and editing. But some also just you have to critique yourself. Sometimes when I watch my own videos, try and be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should improve this.
Mm.
Even my
Yep.
guests to be like, okay, maybe this microphone they need to be closer.
Mm.
Maybe I need
Mm.
to be this. Maybe I need to stay still. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a work in progress. I can't say I'm where I want to be, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a work
Mm-hmm.
in progress. Yeah.
It's a work in progress. And if you compare to where you were in October, it's a huge progress, right?
Oh man, now I'm like I can just do video right now. Give me 30, 40 minutes. I know
Yep.
I'm not gonna do the best editing in the world, but based on what I've been doing, I can do that in 30, 40
Mm-hmm.
minutes and post it. And I'm confident now.
Okay. Okay. That's amazing. So then if you were to try to advise someone that is starting a podcast today, 2024, and they are where you were in October. They don't know much about editing. They don't know much about different types of microphones. They don't know anything about lavalier mics, cameras, lenses, nothing. What would you tell them? What would you say that it's? What would you advise them to be like the first step that they should take?
First, I'm the worst person to give for this, but I would say first of all you have to know what you want to make your podcast for. I used to hear
Mm,
people say, know your topic. And I never understood until I dived in. I was like,
mm-hmm.
oh, this is what they meant. Because
Yeah, yeah,
it's hard to come with idea every day, and you have to talk about it, and you have to talk about it. It's not an easy thing. But in terms
right,
of
right.
equipment, don't spend a lot of money yet.
Okay.
Spend as little as you can. Try to realize, see what works for you, and
Mm-hmm.
upgrade as you go. For camera, I haven't bought a camera until now. I'm still using iPhone.
Mm.
I shoot everything mine with the iPhone,
Yeah, yeah.
because every time I look at cameras, I'm like, is this a good enough? Is this no? Should some
Mm-hmm.
people be, oh, your camera should be at least 2,000. I'm like, what is for? Like exactly. And you
Right,
study all this
right.
camera, and if you're not into those stuff, it's easy to get confused. So I'm
Yep,
like,
yep.
I bought it like iPhones. I have like a two, three iPhones, and
Mm-hmm.
I shoot different angles sometime, or sometime I shoot them with just one iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
and you shoot until. But my goal is to buy a couple camera, but I want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
when I get those camera, there's a reason why I'm getting it, not just because. So I don't want to stuck with a lot of equipment. I will end up not using it because it's not easy to resell them. So
Right, right.
know your topic, understand, also know how to learn to do things yourself, because sometimes you don't want to rely on a guy, another person to be
Mm.
doing your material. I had a
Right,
guy
right.
come to shoot one of our clips, and we shot two episodes, and he finished one of them. It looked good. And I told him I needed the other one. Till today, I haven't got
Mm.
those footage yet. So if you depend on the people
Wow.
like that, you won't be able to keep going because you rely on them, on the mercy.
Right.
They
Right.
how they feel will determine how your things go. But if you know how to do it, you just get in your computer in your room, do it, do it, do it. If you're tired, you close your laptop, you go back, you do other thing, and you come back. So know how to do
Mm.
things by yourself, even if it's not perfect. Learn to put things together and just put it up there, put them there, man. There's a lot of worse content out there than yours. Trust me.
Yeah.
And you have to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I know sometimes also it's weird to hear yourself. For those who
Mm-hmm.
now into social media world and watch
Mm-hmm.
yourself, but trust me, you're good, you're okay. When other people watch you, they admire the confidence that you have to even put yourself out there.
Hmm. Yeah. No, those are some pretty solid advices. Know what you're talking about and use use the tool the best does the job, right? So if it's an iPhone, it's an
Yes,
iPhone. If it's a $2,000 camera, it's a $2,000 camera. But start with what you have and then build up from there. Um,
exactly.
so yours is in person, and is this the first like non
This is the
in
first
person
online.
type?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So this is really learning experience.
Yeah,
And by
yeah.
the way, let me just say, I love it. I love it because it's just like I'm in a different world. You're just talking
Mm,
to
mm,
someone, just like you're on FaceTime and you're recording.
yep. Great,
That's a
great.
really easy content. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that leads me to my next point, which is like one of the reasons why I hadn't started to begin with was I was like, man, I'm gonna need to have people with me all the time. I'm gonna need to figure out their schedule, where they are, go to, meet them where they are and everything. And then I was like, well, maybe that time's gonna come, but I'm not going to wait until then, because like right now that you and I are talking, I'm in Honduras, right?
Wow.
And so how would this ever be possible, right? If I had waited until I'm able to make the podcast with the people in person, I'd have waited for a really long time, or I would have had to make sacrifices of the current lifestyle that I live, right? I'd have to put that on pause and be somewhere physical and then have people come to me, or I go to them. But this kind of breaks the barrier of having to travel, and so you can schedule a podcast with someone. And as long as, to go back to your advice, as long as you have the right tools for the right job, you can still have a podcast.
True. True. So actually,
So
what made you
yeah,
start a podcast as well?
man, that's a good question. So I started technically 3 years ago, but then just like you mentioned with your experience, I started it. I did maybe like 2 or 3 episodes, and then I had never thought about what am I gonna talk about, right? So after like 3 or 4 episodes, well, I didn't make any more episodes, right? Because I was like, man, there like I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to talk about, and then you hit you turn on the camera, you start talking, episode one,
You go
episode
blank.
two, episode three, and then you just it goes blank. And then I restarted, I think exactly a year ago yesterday is when I started posting
Mm,
relatively consistent. And the idea was to try to have a conversation with someone and try to figure out what area of expertise that they have, right? And how can I learn a little bit from of like what they know. So in this case, you just started a podcast, right? And I'm starting a not a podcast, but a different channel where I want to help people that want to start a podcast,
mm,
right? So who's a better person to talk to than someone who's just at the beginning of their podcasting career, right? So
exactly.
it's the idea of trying to find the best person, again, to go back to what you were saying, find the best tool, in this case a person, find the best person that can bring the right knowledge that I'm trying to pass on to the audience. And so I started about a year ago to be more consistent, and yeah, hopefully there's like a few more years to come. But when I look at the first episodes that I made versus the episodes that I'm making right now, it goes to your second point, which is if I had the tools that I have now, then you would have made the experience a lot better, right? Because now I finally invested in in a microphone that's worth using. And by the way, this
Oh,
is the little, I don't know if you can tell, that's right. That's the one that you have.
oh,
That's the DJI wireless mic, right? But I'm using it with this Sennheiser MKE 600 because it's a much better microphone. But at the time when I got the DJI wireless mic, it was the right tool for the right circumstance. I did not want to worry about different cables and having to have electricity with me all the time. And it's like, well, because I travel a lot, so having a microphone that I can just that's high quality that I can just plug it in and it's wireless. So the DJI wireless makes this setup wireless. Well, that just kind of like redundant, but it makes this highly powered microphone into a wireless microphone. So over time, like you said, you just get more equipment that makes the production a little bit better. But if I had this like from the beginning, it would have saved me a lot of trouble. Yes, for sure, and it would have made the production quality a lot better. But you're at the beginning, you don't know everything, and so
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah. So
No,
yep.
yeah, no. I mean, actually, I just learned something because I'm using the entire like. If you see my setting right now, you think I'm
Mm,
in the studio. So I love your style, because you can just put a little bag, put on the bag,
yeah.
travel and go. You can, yeah. I like that actually. I have to look into that, see if because I want to be able to start traveling, not just
Mm, mm,
for this, but just for fun. But also I can
yep.
communicate with people that I don't want to carry everything with me. So that's actually
Exactly.
just learn something. Yeah.
No, that was what I had in mind at the beginning. Because at the very beginning, I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have to buy a camera, an extra camera, or like an iPhone, and then I'm gonna have to ship that iPhone to the person that I want to interview, right? So that they can have like a decent quality. And then that's how I ran into the whole Riverside thing, right? Where you can right
Oh,
now we're not in Riverside, we're using Zoom,
yeah.
and so I'm trying Zoom now, but I wanted a setup that is relatively high quality, but very compact, right? So if I can't grab the camera right now, but if I were to turn the camera around, you would see my DSLR camera that is attached to my laptop, and then
Mm.
the my microphone that is transmitting the sound wirelessly through the camera, and then the laptop is taking all of this as one item, one input, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
when you texted me, you're like, "Hey, I'm going online," and I said, "I'll see you in 10 minutes." It took me about 10 minutes to get the tripod, get the camera, get the lights, get the microphone, get the laptop going, and now we're talking, right? So it is
Wow.
the right setup for like given the lifestyle that I'm living. So um, with that being said, like where do you see your podcast in the next 6 months?
Man, actually, I'm fine because my podcast, like I say, I have a team. And the good thing about
Mm,
the team is my team really have a big hands in my success. So far, at least our success,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you have a guy who's good at figure things out online.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a guy who's good at organize and bring people together and also edit and post a social media
Mm,
guy.
mm,
So we
yeah,
all have different little thing and how we can keep going like that. So in the 6 months, election is coming in the United States.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm trying to build a team, whether it's the same team or just team of different people who understand different things because I want my podcast to be about
Mm,
everything where we can
mm,
discuss about finance, life insurance,
mm,
life in a refugee camp,
yeah.
social issue, politics. So different people, different experts to just come and teach me, you know, about little things that I know.
Yeah.
So since election is coming, my goal right now is to get our team ready to carry that because
Mm,
um one of the things I'm looking for is there's gonna be a presidential debate 2 hour and a half
Mm-hmm.
from where I live. It's gonna be in Austin, Texas, and
Wow. Okay.
my I'm planning to travel in person there and
Mm.
to discuss with just regular people's gonna attend it, just to get the opinion
Mm-hmm.
about what they think. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
This is not a news, but it has to be where we're representing what's going on in our society. So my goal is
Mm.
to try to figure out as much as I can how to make that possible.
Do you think you're gonna bring your whole team?
No, but whoever want to come can come. But the goal
Okay.
is to find other people over there who can sit, just a guest, just as talk.
Mm.
Yes, we're
Mm.
gonna sit and talk like
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
both of Republican, Democrats, Independent, just guys who they have no idea what's going on in the
Yeah.
cities, and just let's
Mm.
discuss about specific things that are going on, social issues. Because of politics, we don't look politics as a big thing, but they play a big part of our
Yeah.
lives, whether we like or
Oh
not.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just get a different idea because we don't want to take everything from the news. We should be the news as well to provide that honesty. And I hope there's gonna have Democrat convention in Chicago. I'm hoping maybe if I set out things right, I'll go there as well. So those are
Oh,
things
okay.
I'm looking forward
Okay.
to. Yeah. So I hope
Huh.
things work out and I'm in person there.
Man, you're taking on a lot, but that's an amazing goal that you have. So, okay, so let me see if I had another question that has to do with starting a podcast and continuing a podcast. Um, well, so you said one of the mistakes that you made was buying all kinds of tools earlier on. Why is that a bad idea?
First, you spend a lot of money for things. Like I say,
Yeah,
I have all this.
yeah.
I'll keep showing this. And I have no idea how to use it. I try to check on YouTube, but they show me everywhere, and that's still they can figure it out. And I spend like $40 on them. So you know,
Mm, mm,
uh, so it's not a bad idea. It's more of if you don't get to use it, you waste it. You can use that resource
right,
somewhere else. You know,
right.
like I know at some point people use money to do advertising so the content can start going here and there.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
done that yet. Uh, but if you can use that $40 to push,
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
future, if you
Right,
have a
right.
plan to do advertising, so stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I think
Mm.
yeah.
Would you have hired a coach at the beginning, someone to kind of hand hold you a little bit, kind of give advice on, which tools not to buy, which tools to think about but not buy right now because you're gonna need it later, but you don't really need it right now. Like, would that have been a service that you would have invested in or not really?
Honestly, it, it- I'll say yes and no.
Okay,
Yes, in
okay.
term it saves you time and you
Yep,
get to
yep.
do to not to do right, and it saves you money, But no,
Mm.
because breaking things up is how you learn it as well.
Right,
So
right.
you have to know what kind of person you are. I study finance, so I know how to take those kind of risk. But I would
Mm,
advise
mm,
people if you can find someone who can show you for the price that is reasonable for you, I would say you give a shot because
mm.
you're not gonna start perfect. But if you can
Right, right.
start like like right now, example, I'm my goal is trying to go live on social media. Like I wanna go right directly, but in all platform. But I wanna have to look more professional. And I've
Mm,
tried, and it's not working. But if
mm.
someone can
Okay.
say, hey, I'll show you how to go live direct with your team, because I'm not just live by myself, by the way, live
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
team, and it still look professional, like background and stuff. I
yeah.
think with the reasonable amount, I'll pay for someone to teach me that because it's investment.
Mm,
I'm investing
right.
myself, so you know.
Mm, mm. That is well said. That is well said because it's like I'm the type of person that I will not seek out anything that even looks like help until I've like really ran into a wall. But that
Wow,
sometimes comes at a cost, right? And the cost
exactly.
is if I had hired the right person with the right expertise, I would have saved, like you said, time and money and frustration, right? But it
Exactly.
just I I have this natural inclination to think that if I just hire the right person right away, or if I just spend some money, or if I don't even go through the struggling process, then I'm kind of a wimp, right? It's not necessarily true, right?
It's not,
So
it's
so
not, it's
uh,
not.
I overcorrect, right? I overcorrect, and I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about this, and so I'm gonna dive in as though I'm gonna learn all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna just get frustrated left and right. But on the other side of all this frustration, there's gonna be some learning, and it is useful until it's not useful. It's just yeah, yeah, yeah.